Hello everyone. This video presents a notable event that happened on each day from the past week in history. On November 10th, 1975, the SS Edmund Fitzgerald sank in Lake Superior, taking the 29 men aboard to a watery grave. The most famous shipwreck on the Great Lakes, largely because of the smash hit song by Gordon Lightfoot, the Edmund Fitzgerald is not the only notable casualty of the Great Lakes. SS Leacliff Hull sank in 1964 with 3 deaths after colliding with a Greek freighter in the St. Lawrence Seaway. The 730-foot-long, 18,071-ton ship was hauling 24,500 tons of iron ore, making her the biggest ship to sink in the Great Lakes system, a foot longer than Edmund Fitzgerald. P.S. Lady Elgin sank in Lake Michigan in 1860 after a collision. A sidewheel wooden steamship, Lady Elgin was only 252 feet long, but the deaths of over 300 of her passengers makes her sinking the deadliest in Great Lakes history. On November 11, 2014, a horrible crash occurred in the Sindh province of Pakistan, known as the 2014 Khairpur bus crash. The accident happening when the bus collided with a truck, killing 56 people. For perspective, the deadliest crash involving a bus in U.S. history was the 1963 Salinas Valley drunk driver train crash in California, when a jury-rigged truck bus was hit by a train, killing 32 people. Some other deadly wrecks of buses include the Haida River crash of 1968, when 2 buses were swept off the road by a landslide during a typhoon, resulting in 102 deaths. The Death Road accident in Bolivia in 1983, when a bus on the terrifying Yungas Road crashed, killing at least 100 passengers. And the Cerro de la Silla wreck in Mexico in 1988, when the bus ran off the road and down a 150-foot ravine. On November 12, 2011, Prime Minister of Italy, Silvio Berlusconi, resigned due to a debt crisis, not the many accusations of sexual misconduct that would mar his career, including holding bunga bunga sex parties. Today we list a few of the worst political sex scandals and ask you to tell us which was the worst. In the 15th century, Pope Alexander VI allegedly had sex orgies and incest with his daughter. In 1998, President Bill Clinton lied about sexual relations with Monica Lewinsky and was impeached. In 2007, Senator Larry Craig was caught soliciting homosexual sex in an airport bathroom despite his anti-gay politics. In 2010, former President of Israel, Moshe Katsav, was convicted after he left office of rape. We know there are so many political sex scandals that we could not list in this short video. On November 13, 1922, the United States Supreme Court decision called Zucht v. King upheld the discretion that allowed a Texas school board to require mandatory vaccination of school children against smallpox. The court cited a previous decision, Jacobson v. Massachusetts 1905, that allowed states to force vaccination and claimed that the police power of the state to maintain health and safety of the public justified such measures. Today, smallpox is virtually eradicated, but other old diseases keep cropping up, as do new germs and viruses. As we found out in 2020, mankind is always in danger of a deadly epidemic that may not come with a warning. During the COVID pandemic of 2019 through 2021, many employers and school systems mandated workers and students be vaccinated, including the U.S. military. On November 14, 1910, self-taught aviator Eugene Ely took off from the deck of the USS Birmingham near Norfolk, Virginia. Piloting a Curtiss Pusher airplane, Ely made history by becoming the first person to take off from a ship in an airplane. The temporary runway constructed over the front portion of the cruiser was only 83 feet long, barely long enough to allow the plane to take off. In fact, on the historic flight, the wheels of the primitive plane dragged in the water and Ely's goggles were covered with spray. After the brush with a dunking, Ely headed to the beach and made an improvised landing instead of circling the harbor and landing at the Navy Yard as part of a planned display. In January of 1911, Eli landed a Curtiss airplane on another U.S. Navy cruiser, the first such landing. Who's your favorite aviation pioneer? On November 15, 1968, the Cleveland Transit System of Cleveland, Ohio, linked downtown with the Metro Airport, becoming the first city in the Western Hemisphere to link its downtown and its main airport by rapid transit. CTS ran the buses and the rapid transit electric trains in Cleveland, linking the east and west sides of the city and its inner suburbs with the downtown area. Later, CTS would become the Regional Transit Authority. Despite jokes about its burning river and the mistake on the lake, and of course the recent history of alleged pro football, Cleveland has had major innovations and firsts, especially regarding its airport. Carl Stokes became the first African-American mayor of a major U.S. city in November of 1967, and Frank Robinson became the first African-American MLB manager in 1975. As a question for my students and subscribers, who is the greatest Clevelander? On November 16, 1857, during the battle known as the Second Relief of Lucknow, British soldiers earned 24 Victoria Cross medals in a single day, the most in British history. Lucknow in India housed a British settlement with the area administered by the British East India Company, a situation distasteful to the local Indians. During the 1857 Indian Rebellion against the East India Company, Lucknow, defended by 1,729 troops, was beset by 5,000 sepoys, Indian soldiers that had been working for the British. During the May to November 1857 siege of Lucknow, British forces grew to 8,000 and Indian forces reached 30,000. After 2 attempts at relief, the British garrison was evacuated. The British suffered 2,500 casualties during the siege. As a question for my students and subscribers, which event from this past week in history would you most like to learn more about? Please let me know in the comment section below this video. If you liked this video and would like to receive notification of new videos, please feel welcome to subscribe to History and Headlines and become one of our patrons. Your viewership is much appreciated. For image, audio, and other credits and attributions for components of the individual videos in this compilation, please see the descriptions of their respective videos, which are linked to in this video's description.